Thank you for joining us today. As discussed, we have finally encountered this opportunity for you to be able to share your personal thoughts. As a matter of fact, one of our participants is actually one of the most and the oldest residents living in Bellevue for all over this time. Since this was just a little town, we have decided just to have this chance to talk directly to the community and express our thoughts. In one side of the coin, we have Helen, which is one of our oldest residents, on the other side of the coin, we have Arley, one of the most recent students participating in the language school to exchange and be able to participate in the local educational part of the college. Just so you have some sort of context, this is going to be discussed for a few minutes, and each one of you are going to have exactly the same opportunity to share your personal beliefs when it comes to the most recent changes since Bellevue was built out. So, as a matter of fact, one of the first and main topics that we would like to discuss is about pollution. Since Bellevue was one of the most beautiful places to come and join the views. This views was affected by the fact that the pollution has contributed towards generated a very alarming and a bigger amount of litter produced each year. So, in order to continue, and just so you have an opportunity, Helen, what do you think about the pollution on beaches?
Thank you, Mayor, for the introduce. As you say, I'm live in the city for over 10 years, and I'm going to take a lead some of the resident of the city. The beach was beautiful 10 years ago until the pollution increased and the students began to arrive.
Totally understand your point. And now, Clay, what do you think? What do you think about pollution?
Hello, Mayor and guests. The trash pollution on the beach has not been caused by the students for the most part. However, we can create a student association to clean up the beach.
Okay. I think we all agree that has to be attacked. It has to be tackled directly to the for the most part of the community that it's been currently being engaged in terms of the environmental care. And we all know that it's very important for us to start implementing strategies to avoid this increased pollution. Now, just moving on to the next part of this debate, I want you to know that we currently experience a very, very big traffic because of the amount of cars being parked every single part. Since Bellevue started 10 years back, it hasn't stopped increasing the amount of people parking in each one of those places, and the pollution is as well being affected. Now, since the pollution is being affected by the amount of cars, we need to take care of this, and I'm proposing and I'm just giving you an idea that we can actually increase the amount of money being fined each year by the residents, because it's very important for you to know and have a better and clearer city where you are actually able to live in. So my proposal is just to increase the fines. What do you think? What do you think of this? Are late? I know, and I'm sorry for this part. I want to hear Helen, as you're one of the most and the oldest residents for in Bellevue at least.
Yes, Mayor, I'm totally agree in increasing parking fees. But also we have another ideas about could be free fares on the weekends for the routed bus that go to the beach on a tourist area. So that will be help for us to get there to the beaches more easily and not use the car. to the pollution and that get the traffic so badly.
Sounds like a pretty good idea. And what about you, Arley? You now that you're the student, what do you think about this?
Well, I'm agree with you, Mayor, to implement the regulations and being able to improve the use of the public transportation to not produce pollution. But partially agree with Helen. But as a student, it will be very good for us to have free transportation because it will be a great help for our process.
Excellent. So just to sum up, we all agree on increasing the amount of fees, but just making sure that we are also allocating resources to cover the public transportation, so it's kind of affordable and in some cases free for students. We all agree on that.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
we agree.
Excellent, excellent. Now we can continue and going to the next part of this presentation, and this is going to be related directly to the rent, the fee for living. It's getting a little bit harder each year, as you know, since Bellevue was founded on 2000 on 2003. The amount and its population, it continuously keeps increasing each year by year, and now we're finding ourselves in a very complex situation when we are not able to generate enough accommodations, and therefore the cost per rent is continuously increasing each year. So I was thinking that we need to look for some sort of alternative just to stop this incremental amount of money per each one of our residents, and this has been an uncontrollable trend. So I was wondering if you would agree just to look for an alternative in which our students are actually able to have a very good and comfortable accommodation to be able to continue studying, participating, and finally learning. What do you think? And this time, but at this time, I would like just to maybe hear it outlay. What do you think? What would be the best way for us to continue this initiative, or would you disagree on this part?
Well, thank you, Mayor. The price of the rents in the city has been a big problem for the students. So the alleviating those costs can improve our stay because as you say the people who's coming to the town is increasing. So for that reason, it will be a nice alternative to improve our situation.
Excellent. That sounds great, and we would agree on that. What about you, Helen? What do you think about our current cost per rent?
Well, I agree for that to lower the price of the rent of the students. But in another way, I think penalty is not a secret for us, for our residents. We've been seeing a lot of bad behavior by the students, and we was talking about two penalties for young people who have a bad behavior, such as drinking on the beaches, drinking in the street, fighting, smoking, and all that stuff to affect the city.
I can agree more on that section. As you mentioned it, the the accommodation is very important, but now we need to talk about it, our community. And penalizing this population would indeed be a part of the process. But I would disagree that at night parties and the nightclubs and this part of the community also deserves just to have a good place to enjoy their free time, but as well as they have to respect each other's lives, because we are all living in exactly the same town, and since this place was founded to be a more familiar place, this familiar place had been affected by the amount of people that is currently living within that ages. So I would agree on penalizing for that specific behavior. Now, what do you think, Arley, now that this is part of your population, the students that would eventually be affected for disturbing the security?
Well, I'm totally disagree with the resident because we students are young and um, we want to be allowed to spend more time at night and have fun in the clubs because the clubs are made for that. And at the same time that we are studying, we want to take more free time to ourselves. So I think that we can take better a better how can I say that, a better attitude to reduce the noises and respect your community. But yeah, you have to respect ours too because we're young and we are in the age of the fun and interact activities.
Totally understandable, and we respect that part. I think it has to be penalized. The final decision would indeed be focused on the punishment in regards to those that are actually going beyond their authority. But indeed, we respect that you are in a very good perspective when it comes to generating a better approach for us. So now, just summing up, because we have a very and huge, and this is one of um, the most controversial activities which is taking place, and it's actually the Sandy Cove initiative, which is going to be likely just a hotel, since Valview is currently receiving a bigger amount of people. We need to look for alternative ways so we are able to generate more jobs and the life stability would eventually increase. So this initiative has to be approved by all citizens that currently live nearby this place. By the citizens living by this place, they all need to agree so we are able to start building over the beach, which is likely a protected and reserved place for nature. So I wanted to ask, what do you think if we start off this particular product? Maybe Helen, you now that you are an older resident living in this place, what do you think about continuing with this proposal?
Yeah, well, absolutely, I agree. We continue the Sandy project. It's like that project since many of us residents depend of tourists and business owner. So that's gonna be very helpful for us and for the city to continue that project.
Totally agree. It's important to have a better amount of jobs because the current economical weight of life is getting harder each year. Last but not least, what do you think, Arley, in terms of this new proposal, the Sandy Cove and its ways? It would indeed affect the way we live.
I'm sorry, but I'm not agree with you guys because the bullying of the sandy cove will be very negative for the natural view of the beach, and it will stop from both the land and the beauty. So I know that it will be a huge um, lucrative and rentable for the city. I don't think that it will help to the nature.
I totally understand that part. I think that we need to look into further research in terms of what would eventually be the final outcome and the effects that it would generate from continue building this part. We all disagree. We have a very good and positive, negative ways to see that perspective when it comes to the current changes on value. So I really and deeply appreciate your participation for today's forum. And in this meeting, we'll just finishing by telling you thank you very much for participating today. Hope you have a wonderful day and have a good one.
Thank you, Mayor. You too. Have a good day.
Take care.
Yes.